Hey guys, I'm going to be a book review of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Meltdown, the very latest book of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So this book, in the 12th book they were they got away for Christmas because it was like cold out and stuff for vacation. So then when they got back, it was actually pretty warm out in January. But then they went to, and then they had to, but he wasn't very fond of that idea, Greg was. So then he totally forgot about the, poster project thing about like countries. So then his country was Malta, and he's never heard of it before. So, and it was due that day, so he has no idea where to start. So I just made a bunch of random guesses about it. And then he just talks about the kid in his neighborhood, on his street. And he has quite a bit of kids on the street. Speaking of kids on the street, so in this book he talks about the Lower Surrey Street and the Upper Surrey Street. They're split in two halves because they don't the two streets don't really get along at all. So they're always in a big fight. And the Bottom Surrey Street hasn't made because they can do all those sports and stuff and play like catch and stuff. While on the Upper Surrey Street in the summer and spring and stuff, they can't really do that stuff. And when in the winter, it's just totally switched around because the Upper Surrey Street kids get to go down the hill, and Greg's an Upper Surrey Street kid. So that's how it works. Then afterwards the kids get in a huge fight, basically like a huge snow fight. So they start making their own like forts and stuff, and then start like fighting each other with snowballs. And then in the book, they actually, to stop them from the Lower Surrey Street kids from coming up the hill to go sledding down it, was to like build a huge fort that is like built with huge ice blocks and stuff. And then they start fighting each other, right? And then that's when they start to build the fort. And then the Lower Surrey Street kids that were coming up the hill to go sledding again, they got ambushed. And then they came back, and they were armed to the teeth. So then they had them. And then Greg knew this wasn't going to be an easy fight when one of them threw a hockey stick. And they threw another round of snowballs at them, but they were basically useless. And then the Lower Surrey Street kids, threw some sloppy specials, which is basically a snowball, but on the inside is slush in it, so that's what sloppy special is. And then when they start pushing the fort, they came with ladders so they could climb it. But then that backfired by dumping trash cans full of slush on them. Then a bunch of 5th grade football team lives at the bottom of the hill, and they tried to take down the wall with a brute force. And then they took a break and went back to their area, and they just stayed outside basically all day long. They were having like juice boxes and like sandwiches and stuff, and they even one of them brought a TV out, so they had it made down there. All the rest of the Upper Surrey Street kids were still in the fort, and some of them were getting dehydrated, so they were secretly sucking on the snowballs, and the others didn't know that. So, and then Yeah, and they still haven't made there. Then they start throwing paper planes that say, surrender now and you can leave unharmed. And some people broke down. And then when the safety patrols came, it was pretty bad. Then the Whirly Street kids even came into that, so it was basically just a free-for-all after that. And then, just when things couldn't get any crazier, a terrifying sound cut through the air, and everyone was trapped to figure out what it was. The only ones on the street who knew for sure were me and Riley. And it was the Mingo kids started pouring out of the woods, looking like they just got woken up from a 3-month nap. So then, it was pretty big free-for-all fight. And then, the truck that, those trucks where it clears out the snow, one of those, came up the street and just totally wiped out the kids and didn't even care. And then everyone went back home basically after that. And it was your average. So that is about my book review. I hope you guys enjoy. And if you did, like and subscribe. And my next book review will be pretty soon. Bye, guys.